There are so many factors that affect how quickly and efficiently students acquire a new language, including first language development, their age, and personality. However, the only three factors that we as teachers actually have control over are motivation, access to language, and quality of instruction, the MAQ. Understanding the power of the MAQ was the first key to transforming the way I viewed and experienced second language acquisition and instruction. As a former high school French teacher, I taught students from a low-income population composed of students that were largely ELLs. They often struggled with language and content learning. Some of them had spent years in and out of bilingual programs, so a lack of structure in language programming, as well as mobility in and out of the district and oftentimes the country, led to significant struggles in the classroom and gaps in education. So understandably, once my students arrived, the first days didn't go as I had hoped or expected. My French class didn't seem to mean as much to my students as it had meant to me. Many of my students were very reluctant to speak the language, and they were even more unwilling to write. Vocabulary was regurgitated, but then quickly forgotten. We moved through the routine of unit-by-unit learning seen in many foreign language classrooms, such as learning about food and culture, and of course, buying tickets at the train station for a journey they would never take. But actual French language development, forget it. I came to find out that, as a teacher, I was concerned about all the factors that could affect second language acquisition. I spent a lot of time thinking and worrying about my students' age, native language proficiency, demographics, socioeconomic status, literacy level, and other related factors. But could I change these things? I didn't realize at the time, although looking back now it's obvious, that these are factors that I just didn't have control over. What I could control, however, was the MAQ. Motivation was key. Despite my initial challenge, I had extremely high expectations for my students as they began the journey of learning French with me. This was probably because in my teaching, I attempted to replicate my own language learning experience from high school. I didn't realize until after the fact how motivated I was as a learner and how this level of motivation that was instilled in me by a phenomenal French teacher affected my learning outcomes. With a strong foundation in second language acquisition methods, we learn the transformative power of giving our students access to language. We do this by providing sentence stems, low-stress opportunities to partake in structured conversations with partners, and writing with scaffolded paragraph frames as proficiency increases. Comprehensible input is also crucial. The quality of instruction is a factor that is purely in our control as teachers. A high-quality language learning environment is one in which, as teachers, we're able to increase student motivation and provide sufficient opportunities for comprehensible input and low-stress opportunities for output. MAQ is also the foundation of effectively implementing the 7 steps to a language-rich interactive classroom. Once we make this connection, we can then use this information to more effectively scaffold our instruction and create access points to the language for our various groups of learners. Once you see your students' performance and proficiency grow, the MAQ might just change your life too.